Hi, this is a brief talk on why Linux gaming matters, even if you've never used it. Let me start off this video by saying if you wanted to use this because you thought Linux is fast on servers, Linux is fast on phones, therefore if I use it on my desktop it's going to be faster than Windows, you're going to be mistaken. I would venture to say that you'd be mistaken as long as DirectX is in existence. The sad truth of the matter is Microsoft has lots of money. With lots of money, you can afford to develop proprietary, exclusive platforms that the competition simply cannot use. If you're a developer, that means that you're going to be using things like DirectX that are proprietary, and that removes any chance of competition occurring. And when this happens, then you're targeting the 90% of desktop users. The majority of people who own computers, they don't know how to change their operating system. And the majority of PC distributors, they're going to distribute Windows because it has the most amount of programs. And the reason it has the most amount of programs is because the most amount of developers want to target the most amount of people, which are all using Windows for the reasons I just listed. This is a problem that stopped potential growth of the Linux desktop throughout its entire history. While lots of people develop lots of things to make the Linux desktop even better and better and better, it does not have much opportunity to grow simply because most programs are locked out of being able to be used from proprietary platforms being developed by Microsoft. And the tools that are made with Linux and just open programs in general like OpenGL and such, there's not going to be an exclusive element for Linux there. You can't have Half-Life 3 be Linux only or something because the point of the platform is that it's open, and if something's open, then yes, you can run it on Windows or anything else you want. You just got to tweak it. But with armies of developers working on these proprietary platforms, people who are making these open ones don't have much of a chance to get a leg up. At this point, you're saying, fine, why would I ever use Linux? Why would I use anything that's open? Why would I just not stick with Windows? Windows has the most amount of programs, the most amount of man hours. You've just listed off all of these benefits to using Windows. Why do I care? You should care because you have options. An option has appeared that is not built by a corporation which is purposely ruining competition by making proprietary platforms. The fact that Valve decided that they were going to put time into SteamOS is insane. The second it was announced, drivers just were being developed on so much more, and so much improvement has happened since then. I'm able to play CSGO at 200 FPS, 220, somewhere around there. And on my particular hardware setup, I just happen to get less FPS on Windows. Even if I took a 60 FPS hit on every game I play, I'm still going to prefer to use Linux. There is no master controller of any GNU/Linux operating system. If I don't like something, I can remove it instantly. I control what happens on my computer that I built. And for that precise reason, that is why you should care. The fact that this is the option that gives you options. So much time and effort is being put into this by a company known for pushing DRM so successfully onto the personal computer platform. Yet they are now leading the way for people to have more control of their computers. That's all this video is trying to say. Even though it may not ever perform as well as Windows will, you should care because it's an option that's not Windows. If ever you say, you know what Windows is doing here, I'm not comfortable with it. I want more control of what is happening on my computer that I'm paying for. I don't want to just rent out my computer to some corporation. You have an option. You have an option that has programs that you use and you can continue living your life. Should you try Linux? Maybe. If you're computer confident, then I don't see any problem. Am I telling you that you have to use Linux, that you have to love Linux? No. I'm just simply stating that when you talk about SteamOS, you take in consideration that it's there so that you as the user of the computer have an option that's not Windows. This isn't exclusive for developers having more options, you actually controlling what happens on your computer. More and more as we move into technology with our daily lives, we're losing more and more rights because people just don't care. They don't consider, what if I had the option? What if someone developed this same exact program but gave me rights to it? If you've ever been a naysayer of things like DRM, you should be more open to this. You shouldn't just be saying, oh, well, I use Windows, it works. You should be ecstatic. And the sad thing is, the people who will rip on people who use Steam day after day after day will then turn around and say, why would I use Linux? Windows just works. The fact that you have to go digging through menus and menus and menus and menus and install third-party software to get Windows 10 to an acceptable state of privacy is insane. At what point does Windows just say, you know what? If you don't let us keylog you, you just can't use the operating system. Do people still use Windows then? And if you don't, do you have any other options? I could talk about this forever, but even if you don't have any intention of using it, when you talk about SteamOS, Linux gaming in general, keep this in mind. It's not there, it's not being developed because it will be faster than Windows. It's being developed because it's there to give you another option.